Let's go to Fred, New York, who actually has something that we should have talked about earlier, probably, the suspension of Rey Mysterio. Fred, what's going on?
Yeah, how you doing? I want to know, now that Rey Mysterio is suspended for 30 days, who would get, the more popular in the WWE? Who would take his place?
Oh, I don't want to thank you very much for the call. I don't know if there's going to be anybody necessarily taking his place. For those who have not heard the story, and we've actually got some emails about this as well, Rey Mysterio was suspended for 30 days for failing a test for what he claims was a prescribed painkiller. He's actually got quite the explanation for it. He immediately went to a newspaper in Mexico and told his side of the story, which was essentially that he had some lingering injuries. His doctor prescribed a medication for him, which he didn't remember the name of. He said that he got popped in the wellness test, and he was told he had, I think, like a day to provide the prescription to them, and it didn't, and they immediately went on the website and announced that he had failed and was suspended effective this coming Wednesday, which means on Tuesday he's likely losing the Intercontinental title. And he's very, very upset about the whole thing, how it all went down. And actually, the question here, do you believe Rey's story in the newspaper interview? I've heard different opinions from random forum goers. What are yours and Mike's opinions on Rey's side of the story? I don't know. I mean, there's a part of me that believes every word that he says, but then there's another part of me that, I mean, I know the way that the wellness policy is set up. Let's just say that I failed a wellness test for steroids, and I called WWE and I said, wait, I've got a prescription for these from my doctor. I can have it to you faxed in 24 hours. And the doctor faxes it over, claims that I was on these steroids for an injury or whatever the case might be. That's actually not supposed to work. The way it's supposed to work is if your doctor prescribes you something, you have to alert WWE in advance and get the okay before you can start taking it. You can't start taking it and then after you get popped say, oh, well, wait, I have this prescription, here it is. So, I mean, Rey should have known this. I mean, if Rey's doctor was prescribing something for him for this injury, I mean, he should have contacted WWE immediately and said, I've been prescribed this, can I take this, or whatever the case might be, and gotten his okay for it. He apparently did not do that, according to his story, and that makes me wonder. But at the same time, I mean, he's very, very upset. He immediately was on the record talking about this. He's talked about how upset he is because he feels that he's a role model for children, and now all these children are going to think that Rey Mysterio is a drug user. So, I mean, sometimes people get so upset about these sort of things that you almost think, well, you know, I guess there are guys that have been popped for wellness tests, and they've just come up with a stupid excuse and said this and that and let it move on. And you kind of just think, well, you know, they obviously were taking this because they didn't do anything about it and they didn't complain all that loud. But, I mean, Rey is complaining so long and so loud that part of me believes that, well, he's probably honest about this and something got screwed up. But I don't know. Your thoughts on this?
Well, didn't he say he was going to sue Sports Illustrated? Did they not list him in the Signature Pharmacy?
I don't think he was one of the people that threatened to sue. I think Batista was, and he never did, which was interesting. I don't recall. So, but I know he was listed in the Sports Illustrated deal.
Yeah, so right there, he's already got that kind of working against him. And I'm just more interested to see what's going to happen as far as the relationship between Mysterio and WWE, which has been, I don't want to say it's been strained, but there's been obviously with them, he wanted to keep the Intercontinental title. They promised him a long reign. That was important to him as far as I guess. I don't know why, as far as he thought he'd be positioned or something like that. I mean, obviously, it has meant nothing, but, so there's been all that sort of stuff. So this is interesting, at least as far as what's going to happen between their relationships, because him coming up and exactly talking so loud in the newspaper, and, you know, as Carlito proved, they will, even though it happened in Mexico, and, you know, it doesn't matter that WWE is going to know about it, and they're not going to be too happy about it. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when he comes back and what happens with him.